Welcome Brawlers, I'm the Hermit and today we're gonna be playing Celes Rune Knight. For one generic, one red, one white and one black. We get a 4/4 legendary human wizard knight. When she enters, discard any number of cards, then draw that many cards plus 1. Whenever one or more other creatures you control enter, if one or more enter from a graveyard or was cards from a graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. For this deck I decided to try it and make it about reanimating the creatures, but playing cards like Call a Surprise Witness, Return Triumphant, even Helping Hand, which allows to return creatures with mana value 3 or less, as well as a copy of Persist and Reanimate, mostly focusing on reanimating small creatures. And those creatures are gonna be Dauntless Bodyguard, Esper Sentinel, Ruby Collector. The reason I chose to do that is so that we could go wide enough that the +1/+1 counter is gonna be more relevant than just making it a straight up Reanimator deck. So that way we have a little bit of pressure early and eventually we get to close out the game by making our board big with our commander. And yeah, the deck is about getting creatures, hopefully getting them into the graveyard. I'm relying on the first ability of Celes to get the creatures in the yard, as well as just having creatures that are gonna die, not necessarily by sacrificing themselves, but just die in combat or by our opponent's removal. So those creatures are gonna be stuff like Ayani, Nagatal Pariah, Ocelot Pride, Bounty Agent. Tap itself and sacrifice it to destroy target legendary permanent as an artifact, creature or enchantment. And in Brawl usually our opponents have creatures as their commanders. We also have Bulwark Cox, Selfless Spirit and Boromir to sacrifice to give indestructible to the whole team. Otherwise we have a little bit of value creatures. We have Caustic Bronco, Dark Confidant to draw cards. We also have Adeline to make more tokens that are gonna get buffed with Celes. We have Extraction Specialist and Restoration of Peganjo, as well as Alesha who laughs at fate. We also have a couple of Planeswalkers, Sorin, Vengeful Bloodlord, he can reanimate a creature. Ayani, Adversary of Tyrants, same deal, with a -2, we get a creature with mana value 2 or less. Archangel Espet, she can reanimate all creatures with mana value 3 or less if we get to her -6. And a Spellstorm Slayer, because her 0 is gonna give all of our creatures flying and a +1/+1 counter. The rest of the deck is gonna be Fatal Push, Bloodchief's Thirst, Patriot's Humiliation, and since we're playing white and red, we have Chain to the Rocks. And because we're playing Orsop, we have Dire Tactics, Fracture, Vanishing Birds, Mortify, and Vision Making. That's the deck, so let's get into the queue and get some aggressive reanimation going. Against Golbez, Crystal Collector. They are an artifact deck, and we should deal with them somewhat easily. At the beginning of Unearth the yard. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 4 or more artifacts, return target creature from grave to hand. Then if they control 8, we lose life equal to that card's power. Okay, protection from multicolored. Opponent plays Overlord of the Veil Mork. They can either get Matoya or Rafin. Matoya is gonna allow them to draw whenever an artifact comes because of their commander. So the question is, do we let them? Okay, let's see if they trade or they're confident. They do. But we can reanimate him later. Opponent shocks and plays Matoya. kill. Okay. And I think we discard Painful Truths and the land. Maybe even Bird. Okay, we can reanimate both Bird and Dark Confidant here. Opponent pays 3 life for a poke. They play their commander and an artifact creature. They mill an Inquisition of Kozilek. So let's return. And we are also gonna... Ooh, maybe I should have played the bodyguard first. Every time I seem to forget. They surveil, they have a treasure vault, which is a land and an artifact as well. They mill Infernal Grasp, they play Roaming Throne, they're gonna name either human or wizard so that they can surveil twice. Okay. And they make us discard. This is a zombie rat, so discard Caustic Bronco. Opponent gets back Worm Coil Engine. So we want to keep their tactics for it. And they also get Matoya because of the double trigger from Roaming Throne. Slicer Goblin. How do we proceed here? I think the cleanest way is to Molten Collapse on Golbez and reanimate Caustic Bronco. Yeah, opponent concedes, and we had a backup in case they... The plan here was to make them try to think they will stabilize with Worm Coil Engine, and then we're gonna exile it with their tactics. So yeah, good games, opponent. Against BB, okay, we're gonna keep on the basis that we have Bounty Agent and Humiliation to deal with BB. We start with a Shockland tapped. Opponent plays Chrome Mox. Chart a course. They draw 2, discard 1. Discard the land. We should play Concealed Courtyard next turn. Opponent plays Narset, Parter of Fails. They're gonna draw a card.
Keep an open mind.
And we do have to get rid of her soon. Otherwise our commander is not gonna come out of play.
You cannot see your folly.
Place BB. And they go for curiosity, which means we destroy it. So here we're gonna attack first.
My mind
The
needs
question
a
is,
rest.
do we wanna draw? I'm thinking we play the Ox and return Bounty Agent. We are missing on a +1 counter for everyone, but I think this is gonna annoy our opponent. Okay, so we are going to saddle. Counter on the Clarion Spirit. And we pass. Yeah, opponent concedes. They see the Bounty Agent and they can't deal with it, so that's nice done, BB. I'm always happy about that. So Zoyowa and Labatang, they are gonna be descending and essentially making us choose between discarding, sacrificing, or the 3 damage. Okay, we don't have red, but we can reanimate the guy here. The Ox is gonna be a young hero. Huh. Actually, we don't mind our opponent's commander. I just realized we're gonna discard Red Horror Butcher. He's gonna be returning Triumphant. Opponent trades. And we hit them for 2. Croxa. We should send Selfless Spirit. Reckless Ringleader. That's gonna give haste to another creature in their hand. Like this, and get Selfless Spirit. Spirit cannot attack or block as long as we control the specialist, but it can activate its ability. So we're gonna trade for our opponent's Lord with the Selfless Spirit. And we don't get red mana or 4th land for that matter. Means we just attack. And we have Dire Tactics. Mountain Collapse on the specialist. Other goblins, so Goblin Tribal. Take it. Sorry, we're gonna block. And we're gonna Dire Tactics, the Lords. Okay, we don't have red mana. But if we get... Okay, Crucias. That's gonna be mortified. Oh, that's unfortunate. Opponent plays conspicuous. Nope. We... What should we do? Can play Basrian, our commander, but we would discard Elspeth that way. Let's do it. We get to draw 2 cards, and we're doing this so we can discard something to Croxa. We have a Reanimate. I'm thinking we get Extraction Specialist, which also gets in return either the Ox or the Spirit. Opponent goes for Croxa, we discard the land. All according to plan. Maybe I should... Selfless Spirit. We're gonna activate Parrying Response. That way we have another creature that's gonna get all the counters. Should we go to combat and trade for Croxa? We should, since we are at a higher life than our opponent. So, actually, let's use the Spirit Trick again. We are empty-handed. Opponent plays Breaches and their fetch. They can get their Surveillant or a Swamp. They get Blood Crypt and their commander. And we're gonna take 3. And yeah, opponent concedes. Dark Ritual on top is really not what you wanna see when you're in top deck mode. But to be fair, so are we. We just happen to have a bigger board than our opponent here, so good games. Bonny Pall, Clear Cutter. Okay, we're gonna play a tap land and then we're gonna play Dreadhorde Butcher. Or maybe we want Dark Confidant here. Aftermath Analyst. They don't mill anymore. So let's think. Yeah, they can block the Butcher here, so Confidant is the way to go. And this is Wizard Knight, but I think we still name him Lotus Cobra. Okay. Sack Fair. We drop sack and blood chip on the Cobra. We're gonna go to combat. And maybe, yeah, we're gonna keep sack fair for the confident. Opponent takes the bait. We get a 3-2 confident. We have a reanimate target. Although we can still discard to Celes. Opponent plays Oracle of Moldaya. Persist. I'm gonna discard these two. See if our opponent wants Dark Confidence. They don't. Okay, now we can get 3 cards from the yard. Opponent plays their commander. Ooh. Their confident reveals fracture. Okay, so this is the way. Who's gonna get persisted? Oh, we don't have a persist target. So let's play a Jenny then.
Nothing is more important than
Gonna
family.
surprise witness for Dreadful Butcher. Yeah, we're gonna have to claim Sackfair. We're gonna attack with the Butcher. Let's see what happens here. Opponent can take 2 of our creatures. But maybe Outspell is gonna help out here. Ooh, last March of the Ents. And that is a great board. Whew. Yeah, they are gaining so much life. I think we cannot win here anymore. 37. It's getting Cultivator Colossus triggers out. And yeah. Okay, all the way up to 18 lands. And then what else? Ooh, okay. So let's see if we have something here. Yeah, actually that makes it harder for us to win.
Isn't over until I've bloodied my axe.
I guess some form of removal for our own Butcher would do it. Otherwise, I think our opponent has it. Crucias, no. Yeah, good game, opponent. That was impressive.
My blade descends! Rise and seize your destiny!
Share in my vengeance.
Okay, we get double the token from Yanni with Elspeth, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, opponent taps with comma. We're just gonna concede. Good games. Tab Weaver of Faces. When attacks, exile a card from a graveyard, and then you investigate. If you sacrifice a clue, he becomes a copy of one of the creatures he has exiled. Now I think that's the matchmaking trying to put something against us, but we'll be fine. Enigma Jewel. And we have the Devil. So we go to combat. Pass. Overlord of the Flood Pits, we're gonna kill a sub in response. Opponent protects him, we have the Devil. Now we get to play our commander. I think we discard Crucias. I'm confident as well. And plays Cruelty of Geeks. Okay. They get one else, but we have another. Here, what could we get? Plus Elspeth.
So long as I am by your side. Form up on me!
And maybe our opponent is gonna try to find a board wipe with Cruelty of Geeks. Lively Dirge. So what do we get with the Dirge? We can get Crucias and a 1-mana creature. Or we can return Dark Confidant alongside Bounty Agent. Opponent is gonna get 2 creatures, 2 cards in their graveyard. I think we have lethal here. We return a creature, then that buffs our team, and we can also opponent gets Valgaboth. Yeah. But we got Dirge. Yeah, that's gonna reanimate. We get enough power, and if not, we minus Alcarangel's bet on Celes. Good games last up. Almost got to reanimate your big boy. Also, since they have last up, they can eat their own creatures and he becomes a copy, at least for a turn of Valgaboth or Rankle or whatever they are trying to reanimate. So yeah. Against BB. Okay. We should send back Chain to the rocks. Surveil to the yard. Okay, we have 2 ways to reanimate Bounty Agent, sorry. But not before our opponent gets to untap with BB, I think. Brainstorm. So if our agent survives here, we're gonna try to surveil a creature to the yard. One that we can persist. Stormcatch Mentor. Roco's Tear. Oh, we cannot reanimate that, unfortunately. But that can reanimate other stuff, so let's keep it. Play our Goblin. And we get the raid trigger. So what happens here, opponent? One ring. Okay. Let's send patch up and persist as well. And we get a goblin at the end of turn. And since we have Celes, we can specialize into black that reanimates a creature, which is gonna be Dark Confidant. And that's BB, okay. Let's send it my way. And I think we reanimate Bounty Agent then, instead of... to do with mana values 3 or less. Yeah. For combat. And yeah, opponent concedes. They could see the Bounty Agent. I don't know what they have in their hands. But again, nice to beat BB. Roco Cabaret Caterer. I don't know how they play it. Could be a combo, but I don't know the combos. Could be just a value. And okay. I'm thinking we're gonna cycle on Earth and see if we draw into something good. Something we can play before turn 4, hopefully. Opponent playing Wire Might. I don't think we have non-creature artifacts or non-creature enchantments. Opponent plays Delighted Halfling, Springleaf Drum, getting the ramp going. So we should cycle Persist. We got Caustic Bronco. Next turn we're gonna play Bronco and Archfiend's Vessel. And if they happen to die, we can reanimate both. Exile it if you do so. We cannot use Persist to make the demon. We have to actually exile it, and with the -1 counter it would die as a state-based effect. Opponent plays their commander X1, they get another elf. Maybe they're all 1-drops. Return an elf you control to its owner's hand. So this is an elf, and yeah, it's gonna be a combo deck. So let's see how they combo them. You need to tap him first. Okay, they tap the halfling, then send Roco back, add more mana, and cast Roco for even more. X2, and they get... I mean, they could have cast him as X3, but Okay, Basking Brute skill. So now they just get Rosy Cotton, and that wins the game. So good game, opponent. Any of the Unwritten. Let's see if we get a reanimate target. Or at least our third land. Life, kill the Dragon Speaking Shaman. Should have done this the previous turn. Kill Damn Explosion. So for okay, they don't sacrifice, they don't discard 2 cards, so we keep our board. And Elegant Parlor. Yeah, we keep a Ganjo. Terror of the Pigs. Molten Collapse, but we no longer have the colors for it. Maybe I should attack with Ruby Collector. Stock up. Okay. So no dragon is coming this turn, hopefully. They would need to have a 3 mana one. Oh, they were probably looking for a land, if I had to guess. Okay, cultivate means we do a little surveilling. A surprise witness. So we do this first. And then we're gonna surveil some more. we... Should we... We go for
So long
Elspeth.
as I am by your side.
Make
You
a
will be
soldier.
Ready arms!
Put a counter on the architect. And depending on what our opponent hits off of Ureni, we might have... Ooh, they kept on top, so that's a dragon for Ureni. Oh, never mind, it's a Ragavan and Roaming Throne, so... Unable to scream on the Reveal Collector. We're gonna discard Caustic Bronco. And we get...
To the
So
skies!
I'm thinking this should be lethal. Or at least our opponent has to make jump blocks. Yeah, we have 16, so Roaming Throne has to block as well. Opponent is at 1. And yeah, they need something huge here. Nah, they don't find it. I think they needed the Alchemy Dragon, which returns all non-dragons to their... yeah, all non-dragon creatures to their owner's hand, so... And they didn't find it, so... It's game for us. Heliod's on ground. Opponent has Leyline of Sanctity, but we don't play. We don't play this card. Soul Warden. I think we're gonna take that. Go Clarion Spirit. And then Chained in the Rocks. Wanna place Heliod. And we're gonna discard a bunch here. Let's place Cleric class, and if they... Okay, they remove our commander. Since Heliod is a creature now... Oh. Maybe I should have kept our commander in the yard. And two counters on Dark Confidant. Gets Heliod back out again.
Do not fear, my friend.
I'm gonna get a Yanni and reanimate the vessel, which makes the demon. After that, we play a goblin. We're gonna jump. Here we discard a bunch of cards. Reanimate Boromir or Ranger Captain Boromir. Then we put counters on you and you.
Strength is born of struggle.
And opponent concedes. Okay. They need like a sunfall here. But yeah, we can get back Ranger Captain next turn, buff the team, and follow up with Elspeth and keep everyone flying. So our only threat, I guess, was dying to Dark Confidant, but we don't have anything higher than a 5 cost, so good games. Chatterfang. Squirrel General, they're a token deck, and whenever they get a token, they get a squirrel. They can sacrifice squirrels to keep -X, -X. And he also has Force Walk, which is not that relevant against us. Boreal Grazer. We have our Caustic Bronco. Okay, we are gonna attack with the Bronco. Reveal a Triumph. So since we didn't have the white mana, we are gonna be a turn late on the removing Chatterfang. And opponent starts the squirrel train going. We reveal a persist. So I'm thinking what am I thinking here? Should attack with the Bronco. Get a land. Blocks. And I think we're gonna play Celes and get a Lesha. Opponent plays Tireless Provisioner. Whenever they get a landfall, they get a token and a squirrel. In this case, they get a treasure. But it could also be a food. It seems like our opponent is considering killing Alicia with their squirrel and Chatterfang's ability. Vein Reaper. Okay, that's nasty. So I'm thinking we are gonna go to combat and do some get rid of Vein Reaper. Okay, we can even use Kix's command for that, to that end. Let's see how our opponent blocks now we have the command in hand. Okay. We're gonna lose a bunch of life here. And that's the Vein Reaper. Unfortunately, we are almost dead. So if our opponent has a... Okay, that's not what I was thinking of. I was thinking any drain effects. But I guess if they have a Crater Hook, we lose. We would have lost either way. Okay,